I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed. A democracy, a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states in perfect union, one, indivisible, established under the principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for what American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes for. I therefore believe it is my duty to love my country, support its Constitution, obey its laws, respect its flag, and defend it against all enemies. Everybody knows what that is, right? What is it? American Creed. Thank you. Do you guys live that way? No? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What we're going to do today, we're going to talk about the flag. We got about 40 minutes. We're going to talk about all the flags that are over here on the side. We're going to talk about the order of flags. We're going to show you what's under this marker, under this black markers up here. We're going to talk about some of these flags down here. Then we're going to open up the questions for you guys. So any questions you might have, okay? So first thing I want to ask is, our flags up here, are they set up in the correct order? Who can tell me whether they are or they aren't?
Yes.
You said yes. How do we know how to set them up? Who said yes?
I did, sir.
Yes. How do we know?
I believe that it's by the dates that which each branch of service was set up.
Well, that's correct. That's correct. For the service flags, that's correct. That's called the order of march. Because if you had a group of all different military that were coming in the building, they would come in that order. Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. That's the order that they were put as a branch of the service. Now, the other flags up here. We have a Support the Troops flag, we have a Legion flag, Sons of the Legion's flag, a Boy State flag, and the state of West Virginia. How do we determine how they are set in a line? Anybody know? Yes, sir.
By the nature of the institution, if it's a national or state institution?
Absolutely correct. You go by where the flag falls. If you look, the Legion is a national organization, so it would be first in the row that it's in. The state of West Virginia has Legion members, but it doesn't have all Legion members, so it's a United States American Legion, so that's why it's that way. Of course, we all know which one is more important up here than any others, right? And that would be which one? Okay. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Now, why is it all the way on the end? Yes, sir.
Dan Grimm from Marion College. The American flag is supposed to be on the left side of all other flags and higher.
Okay, that's correct. However, as you're looking on it, it's left. But if I'm standing up here, it's on the right. If it's facing this way, it's on the right. I mean, your answer's right. Where it's at is called the position of honor. That's why it's on its own right. If there's a set of rules out there that the first line of those rules said there's no punishment if you don't follow those rules, do you think those rules are worth having? No? Well, we have a United States federal code that is exactly like that. It's called the U.S. Flag Code. And the first line of that document says, there is no punishment if you don't follow these rules. Because the flag code is a moral code. We know how we're supposed to protect it and take care of it. And that flag gives us the right to throw it on the ground if we want to. Because a lot of people died, so we have that right to do that. So the flag code is a moral code that gives us all the things we're supposed to do with our flag. Now this morning, we noticed the flag was at half-staff. Mr. Sluss told you why. Who can put the flag at half-mast? The U.S. flag. Who said the governor? So if I go over to Maryland, Governor Tomlin can say the flag can go at half-staff? That's a trick question, by the way. No. There are two people that can put the flag at half-mast. The president does it for the whole U.S. He can determine when it's going to be. Inside the borders of a state, the governor of that state can put the flag at half-staff in his state, his or her state. Okay? So that's why he can put out a proclamation that one of our soldiers was killed in battle, and he can put it at half-staff. Now, we noticed that, was there something else strange about the way we raised the flag this morning?
You brought it all the way up and then back down to half-staff.
How come we did that?
Well, don't just rising of our nation and going down half-staff or falling.
That's correct. But the flag code, I'm going back to this document that doesn't, you don't have to follow the rules, but the flag code says when you're raising the flag and it's to be at half-mast, it must go to the top of the pole first, then lower it back down. Okay? And did you notice that the other flags that we have on the poles beside it were already at half-staff? So that they're not higher than our flag at any time. So it goes all the way up and then back down. Now, when we take it down, we do the same procedure. We have to take it all the way back up and then back down to be full. Now, on Friday, I know that seems like years away for you guys now, but on Friday, you're going to see the flag folded in the ceremony. Because each one of the folds of our flag has a meaning. And you're going to hear that on Friday. Now, I want to show you a flag here, and I want to ask, who would want to fly this flag over their house? Okay. You guys see it? All you guys can see it over there? Who would want to fly it? You'd want to fly it over your house? Is there anything wrong with this flag? There's nothing wrong with it? Let me have it just a second. There's nothing at all wrong with it. All right? Backwards. Nothing? Okay, it's backwards. You're right. You're absolutely right. Nothing wrong with it? It's unserviceable. Who said that? I want you to remember that word. Serviceable and unserviceable. This flag would be considered unserviceable. It's ripped. It's faded. The grommets are coming out. It's not even close to the colors that it's supposed to be. Okay? So, that flag is considered unserviceable. Now, what do we have to do with that flag? Yes, sir? Retire it by fire. Okay? Why? Why fire? The flag code, right. Now, the reason it states in the flag code is why we burn it is so that no part of it can ever be used again. So it can be completely destroyed. So no one can pick out a piece of a flag and try to fly it. That's why. Now, do we just take it and get some gasoline or something and light it up? No? It has to be like the gentleman said, what's your name? I'm sorry. Evan. Like Evan said, in a ceremony. It must be done in a ceremony. Now, how many of you guys are Boy Scouts or Eagle Scouts? Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. Okay. You guys have your own ceremony for retiring a flag, correct? One of you guys that raised your hand, stand up and tell me what your ceremony is. Anybody? I don't care which one. Okay, Evan, go ahead.
We drive them by a fire and we cut the pieces of the flag and send on the fire properly in a manner that would respect the flag.
Okay, all right, very good. Now, different organizations have different rules of how we do that. The American Legion, which tomorrow in the amphitheater, you're going to see a flag retirement ceremony the way the American Legion does it. We don't do any of the cutting out like you all do. There's nothing wrong with the way you do it or the way we do it. It's just a different set of ceremonies. It's all the same thing. It's a solemn ceremony to destroy the symbol of our country so that no one can fly a flag like that. That's why we do that. And we'll have that tomorrow. You'll see that tomorrow. Now, we talked about half-mast. We talked about different things. I want to show you a flag here. And I want you to tell me if there's anything different about this flag than any other. Bob, can you come up and help here, Doug, down there so that you guys can hold it down there? Anything different about that flag than the others you've seen? The stars. What about the stars? 48. So does that mean we can never fly that flag again? Well, what is it? Yes, we can, or no, we can't? We can't. But, well, that's correct. He said you can, and you can do that. Because at one time, that flag was an approved flag by the United States government. It is a 48-star flag. Yes, we have 2 more states now. But you can still fly that flag, as long as it was an approved flag at one time. This flag was donated to our American Legion post in Martinsburg by a family that flew that flag once a year on the death of their grandfather. At the time he was killed, we had 48 states. So it can be done. Now, you see they're folding it up here. Does that shape, when we fold the flag up, look like anything you've seen before? Anybody? It's a hat. Whose hat? George Washington. That's right, you're right. It's folded up like that, and they used that design so that we would never forget where we started, and for all the men, servicemen and women that served since then. Okay? We talked about half-mast. Now, how many folks have a flagpole in their front yard at all? There's those flags that you guys have, the poles you have at home, they have string on them, rope on them, something to raise and lower the flag? I have a flagpole in my yard that's a telescopic pole. I can never put a flag at half-mast on that pole. If I take it down a notch where it should be half-mast, the flag is still at the top of the pole. It's just shorter. So, they come up with a rule that says, if you have a pole like that, and the flag is to be at half-mast, you can put this black streamer on the flag. You would take the top of the flag by the blue union, attach that to it, and that would depict that the flag is at half-mast. A lot of times you'll see it on those little porch flags that people hang on their porch, the little tiny pole. You can't put that at half-mast either. So people will put this on there. The stipulation is you have to have this the same size as the stripes, and it has to be the same length of the flag. So if you have a 3x5 flag, this has to be 5 feet long, and then the same size as the stripes that are on that flag. Great. What do we use this flag for? It's what?
There's a one-star general around.
No, not exactly. I mean, not, you're right that if it's 1 star, that means there's a 1-star general around, but not necessarily this flag. Yes, sir.
Patrick Farrell, Monroe County. Isn't it if you have someone who's away at war?
Correct. If you have a family member, thank you, Dante. If you have a family member that is serving, you can hang this up at your house, in the window, on the door, and that depicts to everyone that you have someone serving in the armed forces. Now, you think it had more than 1 star on, what do you think that would mean? More than 1 family member. What about the one Doug has up here? Somebody said it over here. What'd you say? Someone died. Correct. Correct. Okay. I want to open up to some questions for you guys. Any questions you might have about the flag, and we're going to have a couple more things to share here. Got one right here. Yes, sir. Right behind you.
So earlier when you were talking about the flag code, you mentioned that flags be on its own right or to the left side, correct?
Yes.
So how come, like, at most of the camps I've been to in here, whenever we have several flagpoles, why is the American flagpole in the middle?
Okay. If you have, that's also in the flag code, that if you have a series of poles, as long as the U.S. flag is higher, it's in the middle. If the poles up here were the same size, same height, we would put the U.S. flag on the end, on the right side. That's like all these are the same size, so it's on the right. That's the position of honor. If we had them in an arc, we would put the U.S. in the higher point to do it that way. So yes, there's 2 different ways to do it depending on the type of poles you have. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Why does a flag fly backwards when the soldiers are when they're in uniform?
Okay. Everybody hear? Say your question again, please.
Why does a flag fly backwards on a soldier's uniform?
Why does this flag fly backwards on a soldier's uniform? If I'm walking this way, which way would the flag be blowing? Behind you. That way, right? So it's backwards on a uniform because it simulates that he's walking this, he or she is walking this way. So the flag would be blowing that way, so it would be that way. If you ever noticed a Greyhound bus driving down the road, their flag is backwards. They got approval from Congress to put it on their bus that way because they said if the bus is running down the road, the wind's going to be blowing the flag that way, so that it's going to be reversed. That's why. Any other questions? Oh, come on. Okay, we'll talk about that. He asked what the significance of these flags were. We already showed you the 48 star one. Now, the 2 flags, Doug has one, I have another one. They're exactly the same. They're exactly the same. Wesley Worthrow, is he here? He needs you in the back for a minute, sir. Okay, these 2 flags, they're exactly the same, except for one difference. They're the same size, same amount of stars. What's different? Can anyone tell? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The white.
Hands up.
The white edge is showing on that.
Right, okay, they're not folded exactly correctly, that's true. But that's right, yes. Nope.
The stitching on the stars. The stitching is different on the
Yes,
stars.
one is embroidered, one is printed, or not printed, sewn on. What'd you say, Joshua? Okay. Anything else? Anyone else got a theory? Anybody over here? Stand up. Go ahead.
Is one a storm flag?
A what flag?
Like a bad weather flag?
Correct.
Different materials?
You're correct. There's 2 different materials. This is cotton. If we flew that outside, it wouldn't last very long at all. In the storm we had here yesterday, we would be changing the flag already, because it would run, fade real quick. That one is made out of nylon. It will last much longer in the weather. That's called an all-weather flag. So you're absolutely correct. That's those two. Now I have another flag up here. It is, which star on our flag, our U.S. flag, is the West Virginia flag? Or West Virginia star, excuse me. 35th? Why is that? 35th state. Well, that's pretty good theory, because that's absolutely correct. However, there is no star depicted to one particular state. Yes, sir? Okay. Well, I want to tell you this is a replica of a 35-star flag. When West Virginia became a state, that's what our flag looked like.
Can you fly this? Yes, sir. Yes. Why?
Yes, sir.
What do you use a cotton flag for that if you don't hang it outside?
Usually they are used for indoors or a specific parade or ceremonies inside. I mean, some parades are in an enclosed building of some type. That's when you would use those. They are also used for interment. The size of those two flags that are up here, the cotton flag was an interment flag, which means it's put on a barrier over a casket. Others? Yes, sir.
Jester and Randolph, if a flag has been serviced as it is, if it's from a significant battle, can it still be flown if it's been serviced with
Yes. He asked if a flag was in battle and it was kind of messed up and they patched it or whatever. Is that what you mean? Could it be used? As long as the flag remains what? Serviceable, you can use it. Which means if there's a red spot missing, it has to be the same color red and the same material. They would make that, and you could do that. Do you think you could wash it, maybe? Could you wash a flag? Well, why not? Well, maybe. I mean, if a flag, let's just say we were going to go out and do the flag out here, me and you. Let's just say we were going to go out and do the flag. And the wind came up and it rained this morning and it fell on the ground accidentally. And it's got dirt on it. Okay, that's a brand new flag on the pole out there. We just put it up Saturday. So that means we have to destroy that brand new flag because accidentally it hit the ground and got dirty. We couldn't try to wash it. We couldn't try to see if it would work to see if it still stays serviceable. Well, the flag code says you can. You can wash the flag. Well, now let's just suppose the same thing, we're out there and it hits the ground and it rips. Could we sew it? Same color red, same color white, same color blue.
Without unfolding this, come here, so you can be my witness.
The star looks like it needed to be replaced. There's a patch with the same colors.
Okay. This flag has been sewn. And apparently, I do not know when, but apparently the star area had become ripped cut it out, they had another, okay, and it was replaced. So yes, you can launder it and you can sew a flag as long as it is serviceable.
Preston, do you have a question? Oh. Yes, sir.
Austin Page from Monroe Cabin. Have we ever had a flag that has an odd number stars on it?
The first one, it had 13. Is that what you mean?
No, once you get up to like 43 or something like that.
Oh, yes. We have one hanging in our Legion post that has 35. We just showed you a 35. Say that again? I don't think so. I mean, there's been multiple states put in at one time. The flag code also tells us when you add a star to our flag. And it is on the 4th of July after it was approved. So, I mean, so I guess it's possible that it could have. Yes, sir.
How many, do you know how many flags you've ever had? Different flags you've ever had?
No, I'm quite sure there's a list someplace, but no, I don't have that number. Yes, sir.
The gold decorative bands, you can't fly those outside.
No, those are specifically for indoor and ceremony. If you notice in a parade,
Is this what you're talking about?
he's talking about the gold band around. Those don't fly on a stationary flagpole. They're only on when you carry them in a parade or to post them inside or to hang inside. The gold, other than the flag code saying that the gold is proportionate to the flag, the size of the flag originally, it's usually a 2-inch gold band around it. Now, if you would, you can get all of the service flags with the gold band around. Okay, those are ceremonial flags. Now, the MIAPOW flag that's over in the far, it has a white band around it. It doesn't have gold. Okay, so, I mean, it depends on the flag, but they're not used outside, and there's really no significance other than to be more decorative.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes, sir.
suppose I was gonna hang a flag on a wall vertically.
Okay? How would we do that? Everybody hearing? No. You wouldn't know if we were going to hang a flag vertically on the wall. Like, we want to take this wall over here and hang a flag on that wall. How do we do it? Okay, let me ask you a question. We're over here. Is that right?
No.
No? On that wall, it's not right to hang the flag that way. Mhm. Okay. All right, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. We're going to hang up here. Do I hang it like this?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
No? This way? Why?
That's left.
The union is over here. Just like you said, the upper left. Just like you were looking at. This needs to be in the position of honor of the flag. Now, if we did it this way, is that right? No. So we would do it this way, correct? Okay? So it's the same thing. This way is like that, or like that. That answer your question? How many people have seen these markers like this before? What do we use these for?
To mark military grades.
Military grades, that's correct. What can you have depicted on those? I mean, there's all kinds of things you can put on. But we're going to have a little ceremony here. How many people have a family member is serving overseas right now? Okay? How many have a relative that served at some point? Okay, there we go. So everybody. So we're going to honor those folks right now. Now, these flags are usually put on graves, like the gentleman said. What we're going to do, we're going to honor all veterans by doing this, but we're especially going to honor those who have perished in battle. Okay? So what we have here, we have markers from all the different wars that we've been in through history. We're going to start with World War I and go from there. And what we're going to do, we're going to have guys come up and put a flag in the holder up here, okay? First one we're going to do is World War I. And where is he? He left. Where's Ralph? That's okay, that's all right, that's all right. World War I, is there anything significant about West Virginia and World War I? Yes, Mr. Boyer.
The last survivor from World War I was up in the eastern panhandle of West Virginia.
Yes, sir, that's correct. His name was Francis Woodrow Buckles. He was a World War I soldier. He passed away about 3 years ago at 110 years old. He was the last American surviving World War I veteran. I asked for Ralph to come up because that's the town that Mr. Buckles was from in Charlestown. So we're going to have, who would like to put the flag up for Mr. Buckles? Preston, okay, come on up. Now we have, is he here? No. He's not here.
He was. How many of you are in Pan? Where's Pan Am?
How many of you know Mr. Truman? Truman Sayre. He is a World War II veteran. He's the only one we have on staff this year. That works. We're going to have a thief come up. That's not a thief. That's not a thief. That's a thief. There we go. Thanks. The next one I'm going to have up is Mr. Boyer. I'm going to have him come up and put the Korean War flag in. Next, I'm going to have a Vietnam veteran come up, Mr. Bob Speaks, who served in Vietnam in the United States Marine Corps. Do we have a Persian Gulf vet? Yep. Theo come up and put, Theo Chambers come up and put a flag for the Persian Gulf. He served in the United States Navy. Next, I want to have Colonel Matt Sampson come up and put the flag in for Iraq. Who has a family member serving in Afghanistan right now? You do? Honor all those from Afghanistan. Now I just need someone to come up for all war veterans. You know, sometimes we have wars and they don't get a name. Sometimes Americans are being shot at, killed, and it doesn't get a name. So that's what we're going to do. So I need a volunteer. Yes, sir. Come right on up. For just veterans. And I'd like to have your former governor of Mountaineer, Mr. Damien Cook. Is he in there?
There he is.
Come up to, because he is currently in the West Virginia National Guard. Is that correct, sir?
U.S. Army Reserve.
There, U.S. Army Reserve. That's close.
Almost.
Almost. Over here on the side is American Legion. The reason you're here is because of the American Legion. Because years ago, back in 1935, in Illinois, they said this would be good to teach our youth about these kind of things that you're going to learn here this week. So that's why we're going to do American Legion. And in this room right now, we have a past department commander from the American Legion of the state of West Virginia. You have two past department commanders here. Your director of Boys State, Mr. Jim Davis, is a past department commander. But Mr. Greek Krishalis in the back is also a past department commander. So we're going to let him put in the American Legion. Ceremony we like to do that just honors our servicemen and women. Now tomorrow, I told you we were going to have a flag retirement class. Well, not a class, we're going to have a flag retirement tomorrow. And we're going to honor 4 veterans that are here at Boys State. They're 4 female veterans. Because we talk about veterans a whole lot, and sometimes we forget that, you know, ladies serve too. So this year on staff, we have 4 female veterans that are going to be recognized tomorrow after the flag retirement ceremony. So, now, do we have any more questions? No questions? Okay? I want to let you know that in the back, as you're leaving, there are some pamphlets that you can take that's put out by the American Legion for your perusement later, if you wish. If you don't want it, or you're just going to throw it in the trash, don't take one, leave one for someone else. But it's got some other information about some of the stuff we talked about up here, folding of the flag, all that stuff. Okay? I want to play some music here, and this is going to be all the different service songs. So we'll play the songs, and then we'll have a final thought here, I guess you could say. The United States Army. United States Marine Corps. United States Navy. United States Coast Guard. And the United States Air Force. You guys are going to hear a lot about patriotic stuff all week that you're here. What you have to remember is we're here because of that. This piece of cloth right here. That's why we're here. A lot of men and women have sacrificed over the years so you're able to be here. So you're able to go home and play football for your high school, or whatever your enjoyment is at your school, or that you can even go to school. A lot of kids your age don't get to go to school, then go on to college. That secures that you're able to do that. And a lot of men and women throughout history have made sure that you get that chance. I need you guys, I know I'm talking to the wrong room here, because I heard you guys last night, the first night, and you were all singing the national anthem already. Usually that takes a couple days, which that was pretty good. But you know, it really bothers me, and it bothers these guys that we just sing songs for, that when you go to a football game or a basketball game or whatever, and they say the national anthem's going to play, and you look around the place and all you see is this happen. You know, or someone's talking on the phone, or they don't take their hat off, or they don't even stand up. That really makes me mad. So I've asked you guys to set the example when you go to these places. You know, put your phone down for a minute. The national anthem is 2 minutes long. I figure you can put your phone down for 2 minutes. She'll wait on you. Okay? Call her back. She'll wait. Remember that the veterans that are here do this for you, and the veterans that are going to come on Wednesday drive from all over the state to see you guys. Of course, your moms and dads, some of them are coming down too, so that's a good thing. But you're going to have veterans all over the camp. We're going to do a tribute to them. And you're going to get a real treat on Wednesday, because how many people here have heard of Woody Williams? Who was Woody Williams? Who is Woody Williams? Excuse me. You know? Yes, sir.
Woody Williams served the Iwo Jima and he took out half a dozen bunkers with flamethrower.
What else is significant about him?
He's a survivor World War II veteran and he has a Medal of Honor.
He has a Medal of Honor. He's the only living Medal of Honor recipient in the state of West Virginia. And he's 89, I believe. And it'll be worth your week to hear him speak, I will tell you. He will keep you riveted the whole time he's on the stage. But it's men like him and others and women that ensure that we can be here today. I ask that when we're doing patriotic things here this week, that you show respect to the flag, show respect for the people who are doing it. And I thank you guys for your attention and your questions. Where are we to go next? Does anyone know?